right, just kind of looking over the price action today, and yeah, the open was especially tough. Usually it is, but sometimes there's some nice breaks, where it breaks. But you can see the open right here breaks down into the mid-level again. So the price action's pretty coiled up. So if you went short, got whipsawed. Then I'm saying if you're short, whipsawed up, and then if you try to go long, kind of whipsawed down. There was a little break, then it paused right at the GANN level here. So I'm not saying that you wouldn't get beat up a little bit here. I do try to avoid the first few bars for sure. So we're starting this at 9:44, so that gives 10-15 minutes into the market to, and then we're just going to use the meter as the primary gauge. So right here, it is long for now. We're going to take the next flip. So if we're going to take this short here, also on micros, we get bounced around a bit. Let's take the next flip. Okay, so that's out. So we're down a little bit, and then we're short. I'm just going off the meter here. If it turns orange, I'm going to get out. Oh shoot, messed that up. I thought I was short. And then, so I really messed that up. And we're supposed to be long now. Let me freaking redo that. And I really messed that up. So go back to, this is the bar we're on. This is still tricky. I'm not saying you wouldn't get beat up a little bit. And make this a little bit bigger. And maybe just a little slower during the open, then we'll speed it up. So waiting for the flip. Because you would be long, and then so you'd be losing there. If you were long before, then you're short, and then look at whipsaws, back up a little bit. So you're out for loss. And then you should be short. That's a pretty big loss for a micro. But either case, we'll just kind of see how this plays out. So the meter's coming down, or price is coming down, and we're going to bounce around that GANN level, right, almost to the tick, and then need to get out. So you're down a couple $100 if you're just trading off the meter. If you use the GANN level, it could help a little bit. But either case, just using the meter as kind of the main trigger. Live, we did pretty well live, because usually we're looking for 3 or 4 things, not just one, as we are here, just using the meter to get in and out. And we're breaking above the 294, but it's going to stall maybe. See that we're barely above it. So you're thinking, it's going to break up, right? You're in a good position. Everything's green. You're above the GANN. Everything's firing. So you should be good to go for a trend day, right? So we'll see. Then I think it comes back. I think it tries to test that mid-GAN, and look at that total rejection. I was just slamming. Look at the delta. Look at the deltas coming in, selling. This is where we were live, and I think it does a little bit of a fake out here. So you think, okay, it's going to sell off, and then it does, so it does that, comes down a little bit. Then I think it does a, so you think you're good, yeah, you're good shorting, right? You're all good. And I think it whipsaws pretty hard up here. I think I forget. I think it could shake some people out. Maybe not, I forget. Yeah, I think it whipsaws up here a little bit. These shorts sometimes can be tricky. You think you're good on a short, and then NQ just friggin' slams it. Usually if you're entering close to a GANN level, you're in pretty good shape. Your losses aren't as bad, but it happens. See, look at that. See, it slams it, and then you get out. So you're down a little. You're still down 150 for the day, and it wants you to buy, which I don't know if there's enough to buy it, but either way, I'm assuming that we're above the GAN. Now we're going back along, right? And I turned off the compass just to remove some of the lines, so you can see how it slams it, and then flat, and then sell. So now you're down almost 200-ish. So by this point, though, you have a bunch of deltas. You're underneath the GAN, you're underneath the VWAP. So you got, nice trade working. In this case, you're just trying to get back even for the day, but you're just going to take what the market can give you. So you might not get back to even. Well, depends. So now we're looking, it broke the mid-level. Now can we get down to this GAN level? So it snaps up a little bit. There's a little bit of a GAN there. The delta. But there was no change in meter just yet. So we could probably speed this up just a little bit. See if the meter changes. Look at that slam. Oh, it does change. So now you're down 150. Oh, I want you to buy here. So this is going to be tricky because I know that it's like, we know what thing kind of falls off here, but look at this to the tick. Look at this, the magic of GAN. I remember this because I was live watching it. Right to the friggin' tick. It stalls right at a GAN level. And that's pretty good precision. Look at that, see? It was trying to get above. Look at that. And then you just get that bar. Look at that. Ouch. Oops, and I got in a little early. I meant to wait for that to turn red. But now we're down 160 again. We were down a little bit more earlier, but in either case. So now, that was I call that a complex retracement right to the GAN level. Right, it's a beautiful, really, if you look at patterns, it's a beautiful complex retracement, and then just stalls out right at the GAN level. So now we're just using the meter. Again, see if we can get back to even. And then it does some trickery down here. So this is what makes GAN a little bit tricky. So watch what happens here. So look at you get a delta, but I'm not going to go flat yet. Okay, so flat there. And it wants to go buy, which I wouldn't love, but either case, following the meter. Flat. So you kind of think there could be a bounce off this GAN. Sorry. Oops, I missed the buy. So okay, so then we think we're going to come back down to GAN. We have a red. And then look at that, it starts playing some games here. Bounces right off the GAN. Meter hasn't changed just yet. So if you're using the meter, you think, oh, okay, oh, look at that. See, it bounces right off the GAN again. So definitely some games right here. Ooh, you have to get out. Oh man, then it wants you to buy. That's kind of lame. and then you have to get out, and then, so yeah, really, okay, so they were red. Let's see if the games are over yet. They might not be over. You know, NQ loves to do game. Okay, so you have to get out, shoot, flatten. I want you to go long. So yeah, these are some pretty good chop fest here. Taking some heat and got in a little late on that short using the meter. But now we're down 200. So live we weren't. It was a little, you have to get out and then you go long, which is horrible. And then you have to get out. And I'm in a little bit earlier. I meant to be on this bar, so some pretty, look at that. I mean, it's some pretty, it dips down, goes back up, and then, you know, now you're down $300 just on one micro, trying to navigate. So that's kind of the trickery sometimes when price enters a GANN level like that. And the whole idea was to have this meter help us. In this case, I don't know what else. I mean, you know, it broke below the GANN, broke above it, and then finally it broke, I mean, minus all this other garbage. So you can see how I doubt, let's see, look at the way to get out. Some more trickery. And wants us to buy. Again, look at this. It goes back above freaking GANN level. Oh, maybe it does take off from here. So definitely going to be probably a red day because by now, you know, it's past the time that I like to scalp. So yeah, using the meter today. Although again live we did pretty well, so it's interesting on the replay how it kind of was tough. But also when we were live we were doing 3 or 4 confirmations, and it worked out. Also we were able to avoid some of that chop just by not over trading. So yeah, definitely taking a loss on the day with the meter, at least in replay mode anyway. You have to get out. You know, I don't think it does chop very well. Yeah, this meter isn't really meant for this time of day, so I don't think the market. Yeah, I think it comes back down. And look at this, bouncing around. So yeah, anyway, it's if you kept trying to get it back, that's usually why I finish up around noon. But overall, really that was a great trade right there. Had my favorite part of the day, and then you're done. Unfortunately, this barcode action, pretty tricky die, right? We already covered that. So, there's no perfect indicator out there, right? But I mean, during our live call, we did pretty well. But that's mainly because we caught this nice little short down to here. That was a fun call. But yeah, in replay mode, didn't do so well. Live really need ticks, right? It does a straight bar, so you can't get the true feel of it. But anyway, I appreciate your time. Take care.